Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. So this video is for you if you have your Jupiter in Cancer. And I am talking about Jupiter in regards to existentialism, the existential theory in psychology and in counseling and psychotherapy, all that stuff. So if you want to watch my introduction video, it might be helpful for you to watch it just to understand the approach that I'm taking with Jupiter and why it is related to the existential theory, because Jupiter expands our search for meaning in our chart, and that meaning is found through what the sign Jupiter is in symbolizes. And that's what the existential theory is about. It's about helping people develop their own meaning in life given human conditions. So Jupiter in Cancer is actually a really, really good placement. And I think it's because it ties into kind of like like the connection to where humans come from, like a very human instinct. So it's almost like it expands the search for your own roots. But because it's in Cancer, I mean, some of this could probably apply to Jupiter in the fourth house too, because I think that Jupiter in the fourth house also reflects some of the Jupiter in Cancer tendencies. But I think because it's in Cancer and, depending on where it falls into which house in your chart, because it's Cancer, it's talking about it from a universal perspective of understanding the root of humans. But again, because it's your chart, this is kind of like the root of your chart through, and how that manifests itself through whatever house Cancer falls into. So look at what your moon is doing as well, because so it's kind of expanding the root of your chart, because Cancer symbolizes the root. But the existential theory actually doesn't emphasize the past as much. So what it does is it uses past events in an individual's life to promote insight, to help people free themselves from their past. So Jupiter in Cancer expands that awareness of the past. If it's in your fourth house, it's more about where you come from and what your personal inner root is and how that shapes you and all that kind of stuff, and it's more connected to the home life. But when it's in Cancer, it kind of makes it a little bit bigger to incorporate just the idea of how the past itself affects us in the present and how we act upon past patterns, if that makes sense. So this can be a really deep and reflective placement. And I think that's why it gets such a, good rep, or why it's, exalted? I'm not sure. But I think that's why, because it makes you, or it expands this search for meaning regarding the past as it in its like cyclical process, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if this placement in your chart is afflicted, it can be difficult to, I guess, confront this idea of the past and how you can move beyond that and how the past might recreate itself and how to be prepared for that when it does, how to recognize that pattern. So going inward with this placement is how you make sense of the past and how you can also help people in your family around you make sense of their past so they can conceptualize it and they can be free of it. This this placement is a little bit more liberating of emotional responses that people can be kind of unaware of. You are more aware of them. You're aware of how these kinds of things affect people's psychology, if that makes sense. So, sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes. So, expanding yourself and your search for this understanding and this insight and helping yourself be free from the past and understanding how humans can be free of the past, and using that wisdom gained in the present is how you'll find your meaning. So I hope that makes sense, and thank you for watching.